I know the season is young, but after watching week 1, looking at strengths and weaknesses across the landscape, before the season started, I projected an 11-6 record for the Vikings for them to make it into the playoffs, either as a 3 seed, that is if they were to win the NFC North division, or 5 to 7 seed as a wild card. Now, fuck all that. And before I say what I'm about to say, I've been waiting a long time. I've patiently waited for this team to live up to the talent that they have on this roster. We Vikings fans have gone through the struggle. And now the national media, power rankings this, top 5 that. And I will greatly accept the title of Mr. Pompous Ass. You can't tell me nothing. Now, if this all goes to hell, I will gladly fall on my face. But with that said, looking at strengths and weaknesses across the NFC, I believe the Vikings have what it takes to be a top 2 seed, maybe number 1. Let's start with the NFC East. Dallas will suffer without quarterback Dak Prescott after undergoing surgery on his right thumb. He's going to be out at minimum 4 games. For Washington, there's about a 6 to 7 game shelf life before Carson Wentz shows you just how unreliable he is. The Giants, don't waste my time. The Eagles, great offensive line, weapons aplenty. I don't think the game against Detroit is a reflection of just how talented their defense is. But unless Jalen Hurts improves in his accuracy, gets more comfortable within the pocket, at best they're looking at a 4 seed. The NFC South. For Tampa, they've got the GOAT, Tom Brady, so that automatically puts them in a top 2 seed. After that, the rest of that division is going to be a slugfest just to get in the conversation for the 7 seed. If I had to pick one of them to win it, I'd say New Orleans. Out west, I got 2 teams making it into the playoffs. The Rams, they'll win the division. And after that, the 49ers, they'll make it in as a wild card team because even though Trey Lance is not the solution at quarterback, but you can always count on San Francisco to run the ball effectively and play great defense. Every game, they're going to be a tough out. They're going to have to figure out the 5 or 6 seed with the Green Bay Packers. That offense without the running backs, even with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, that offense is some butt. Every attempt to make something happen with guys like Watson or Watkins or Cobb, you miss Devontae Adams more and more. And even within the NFC North division, as great as the Packers' defense is, as talented as they are, clearly they can't stop the Vikings' offense because even the last 2 years, before Sunday, the last 2 years with an offense held back by the pride of the former head coach, the last 2 years, the Packers allowed, and by the way, that Sean Mannion game at Lambeau Field last year, that circus doesn't count. With Kirk Cousins at quarterback, the last 2 years, the Packers allowed an average of 32 points per game against Minnesota. Now with Kevin O'Connell calling the plays, it's only going to get worse from here, for Green Bay anyway. So if your strength is on defense, only to be helpless against the Vikings offense, and on your offense, what you have is the run game, because every time you make a pass attempt, you're basically hitting Chef Boyardee cans, the Vikings will win the NFC North division. So if the NFC East division winner is the 4 seed, that leaves 3 up top: Tampa, LA, Minnesota. LA, I know they just won the chip, but Vikings, better collection of weapons, and as crazy as this sounds, better play calling, what we saw last Thursday night, and going back to the Super Bowl last year, carry over into last Thursday night, Jalen Ramsey is not the same scary player that he once was. I think the Vikings can totally eclipse LA for the 2 seed. Now, as far as against Tampa, I don't have the conviction to say that the Vikings are better, but we're talking about seeding. The Vikings have what it takes to get off 13 or 14 wins. Can Tampa? I don't know. But the overall point is the Vikings can absolutely be a top 2 seed in the NFC.